All right, it's time now to talk toys. You can certainly help your kids thrive in the classroom with toys that actually teach emotional intelligence and social skills. So important.
Absolutely. And joining us in the studio now is Charlene DeLoach, our friend and contributing editor for the Toy Insider. Charlene, we just love when you come.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. You know, we just had our child psychologist on talking about that if you don't have good emotional regulation and social skills, it really doesn't matter about the academics. You're going to have to get along with people your whole life. But we can make this fun.
We can, and we can actually talk about the 5 pillars, right? So there's 5 of them that you really want to hit, and when you're talking about social emotional skills, first is self-regulation, self-awareness, right? So both of them kind of go hand in hand, but sort of that self-awareness is like, how am I feeling? What does that look like? What am I portraying to the world? And one fun way to actually do this is take those old beach balls from the summer, repurpose them. This one's actually from Pokemon. But you put all these words on there, places,
angry,
how are you feeling,
anxious,
and what you're going to do is like
house,
you could
friend,
toss the
teacher.
ball to her, and whatever your hands land on, you're going to talk about it.
All right.
So like, here you go, and then so you have
Frustrated,
you're frustrated, and what's on the other side?
and sleepover.
Right. So you're like you're at a sleepover. You're frustrated because your friends are not including you in a game. How do you handle that?
Ooh, that's good. So
Right?
it's kind of a double of where both hands are.
Exactly, right. You know,
a place and the emotion
about it, especially for little kids. Like they're tossing the ball, and now you get to talk about it.
Okay,
and then,
so you're frustrated. You might go take a moment until you feel a little calmer.
right?
And then ask your friends, like, you made me feel sad because...
Exactly.
All right.
Okay.
Let's see. I got to sleep over again. How about we do classroom and friend? Ooh, so how do you make friends in a classroom, or if you see someone who's shy or a little upset?
Exactly. So maybe we go over to them and introduce ourselves and say, hey, do you want to come over and play with me? Or, you know, let's go do some art together.
What a great idea.
Right?
And to repurpose something that you may even have at home.
Exactly.
Is
Like,
awesome.
Just a Sharpie and a beach ball.
Exactly.
Are these the Hug-a-Lumps?
Yes, from Zuru,
I
right?
feel like I just want one now.
I know.
Here's your Hug-a-Lump.
So what is this for?
So this is for self-regulation. So now we kind of know how we're feeling, but now we need to have the tools to start regulating. And this is just a really simple way to start realizing, like, we might need certain things, heating pads, weighted plush things like blankets.
Yes.
Whatever you need, it's just sort of teaching that, hey, we got to navigate it. We have to find the tools that work for us to get through our emotions.
I think this is really good for moms too. Like if you're gonna be an empty nester, I'm gonna tell you this feels like a baby. It's a weighted baby.
But you know, it's also great because we also a lot of times talk about like younger kids, elementary school. But this is great for teens too. They're studying for an exam. Put this on your shoulder. It does actually, there's science behind it.
I'll never forget going to college and seeing people who actually brought their stuffed animals or stuffies or their baby blankets.
Right?
And at first I'm like, what? But that's an actual thing to help. It's a piece of home. It's comforting for them their whole life. Sort of really nice.
Yeah, and you know what? Just own it and that tool. So the other is now social awareness, right?
Okay.
So, okay, how can we be aware of what we're portraying to the world? How can we be good friends, so on and so forth? So this is from a company called Thames and Cosmos. It's the Sea Creatures Aquarium. You can actually grow your own little shrimp. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so if you're not ready for the goldfish yet,
I remember as a kid, like growing the seahorses. Is that what they were?
Right, exactly. So aren't they
Or the
like
beta fish.
Right.
Yeah, no, this was like powder, and then they would grow. Like it was like.
Yeah, exactly right. So that's the same sort of general concept.
So you're actually growing them?
They're alive. Yes, but
in there right
yes,
now?
Exactly. No. They got a hatch. But yes.
Yeah, that's what I never
So I
understood.
didn't want to have them hatch and be in the car, and then the poor things die.
But they do come alive.
They do come alive.
They're alive.
Yeah, and it's just, but it's also too. You're also getting a side effect of like actually studying, you know, the salt, you know, water, and aquariums, and then there's a podcast that goes along with this. So there's an educational
Wow in the World podcast. You can learn.
Exactly right. But the idea is like even if this is fun, but you know, getting a goldfish or something like beta fish, which is great too. So
boy, this next one, my son would go gaga over.
The Lego transport. So
customize your cars.
But the reason why I brought this though is like puzzles and brick building is a great way to do what the 4th pillar is, which is relationships, right? Team building, collaboration, those are the things that we sort of need to have in the classroom and in the world. And so having puzzles, doing brick builds with friends or family family, your siblings, are going to foster that skill set that we also need in the classroom.
Absolutely. George is always asking, you know, he's pretty independent now, loves his Legos. It's kind of his quiet time, even how he decompresses after, you know, school. But if he needs help, he'll go, Mom, Dad, can you help me with this? Or even Andy or I will be helping build with him too with the Legos. It'll be a fun project we could do together.
And even that act of saying, hey, I need help with something is a huge skill set that a lot of kids don't really kind of know, like how do I navigate something?
Yeah.
But this last one down here in front, and I know you have a couple of the
rule.
yeah, exactly. It's from a company called Play Monster. And this is the last one, which is the responsibility piece. How can we be active listeners? How can we be good communicators? And I like this game in particular because it's actually based on communication.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is, let's just say it's your turn, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to flip it. And now you got to answer three really fast.
Name 3 funny TV shows. Okay, Great Day, Connecticut, MASH, and Three's Company. Okay.
And then,
All right, we're out of time for this segment, but this is awesome.
How fun this is. Name 3 celebrities you never want to meet. Scott Haney. What? Thank you so much, Charlene. We absolutely love when you come. Here's the information where you can find Charlene. Of course, we have the gift-giving guide coming up with Christmas.
All right, thanks, guys. Hey, still ahead on this Thursday afternoon, we're going to be heading